Part 2. I thought for a moment we're gonna go into it. It's about planting. Today I am doing a lot of planting and sizing up of my seedlings, so I might as well tell you about it right now. Part 1 was find your place, get the plants off of it, start working on your soil. The second part, part number 2, the seeds. The seeds are the fun part. I have this kind of organizational system for my seed bead container, if you've seen that video. But of course, you can order seeds from wherever. I like Thrush. There are so many different kinds of seed distributors online. Another great place to find them is at seed libraries. If you are interested, it's a very easy search. You can also check with your public library. Some public libraries have a free seed library. That's very cool. I've also swapped with friends a lot. That's really fun to do. Everybody brings their seed collection and you swap your seeds. It's a great way to bulk up your collection without having to spend too much money. And I'm in big favor of that one. So, my collection of seeds, I probably have 150 now, varieties of things. I haven't grown all of them, but it's nice to have a collection. And once you've got your seeds, all the things you think you might want to grow, I guess the best place to start with that is do not feel like you can't grow something because you live in a climate where it doesn't grow. You might not be able to have it outside in your garden or on your farm, but that doesn't mean that you can't grow it. I grow turmeric and I grow ginger, which can grow outside in some climates, not where I live. It doesn't grow very well here. It's better to start it inside and then transplant it outside, but it's definitely not gonna survive the cold winter. So if you are in, we'll just say if you're in the US, there are seasons, of course. If you're in a zone that gets all 4 seasons, during the early spring, you can direct seed your cool weather crops. So, what does that mean? It means a lot of brassicas for the most part. Brassicas were previously called cruciferous. Cruciferous meaning the cross, right? So they have flowers with 4 petals, makes a cross. That's why they were called cruciferous, and now they're called brassicas. So in the brassica family, I believe everything is descended from a wild turnip. Wild turnip that just made different things over the years, and people cultivated it in different ways to make kale, to make radishes, turnips, broccoli, arugula, a lot of different things. And all of this is from one plant that was just cultivated in different ways to encourage different growth patterns, right? So broccoli is obviously grown for the florets. Cauliflower, same deal. Kale is grown for the leaves. Kohlrabi is grown for the bulb. What do you want to call that? The root. Yeah. And then turnips and radishes grown for the same reason, for that yummy root. But they all have kind of similar flowers, different colors. but they are all descended of a wild turnip, which is cool. And it is also a cool season crop. So when you are looking for spring veggies to plant, the first things that will come up in a year are roots and shoots. So root veggies and salad greens, good place to start. And these plants are hardy. That's an important word. Hardy means that they can tolerate some cold and frost. The next chapter of the year is half hardy, which means they can get cold, but they can't tolerate frost. The next level is the middle section, the warm season crops. They are, they're tender. Tender means they can't get cold. So those are tomatoes, those are squashes, lots of herbs, basil, cilantro. And for the most part, the best way to think about them is they are annuals. If you live in I don't know where the line is, but zones at least 7 through 1. They're annuals, definitely. I have never farmed in a southern climate, so I'm not sure on that one. But for where I'm working, it has 4 seasons and it gets cold. Tomatoes can't tolerate that. Neither can squash or peppers. So they function like annuals. So, in step 2, gathering your seeds. Picking all the things that you want to grow. It's a lot of fun. Direct seeding, as I mentioned, is a way to just put them out in nature, in your garden, your farm. And when you are planting your seeds, no matter how you're planting them, the best way to plant them is about 2 times as deep as the seed is large. So that's very small, right? A lot of things don't need to go that deeply if the seed is really small. So the deeper you plant something, it'll just take a little longer to come up. But I don't know, half inch is pretty deep for some seeds. And some seeds do need some light to germinate. So for the most part, you can just put things outside, and one person described it to me as like the wisdom of nature. It will come up when it's ready. I thought that was really beautiful. So I have direct seeded a lot of things this year, but not tomatoes. Tomatoes, I am still in the habit of growing them indoors and then transplanting them outside. So there are a couple of things that I'm taking care of in the house, but these could also be direct seeded if you want to. And when the soil is warm enough, the seed will wake up and it will grow. If you live in a climate that doesn't have a very long growing season, you probably want to start them indoors. I have moved somewhere that has a really long growing season, so this is not necessary, but it's a habit. It's a habit and I like it. It's kind of part of my springtime ritual, getting the tomatoes planted. And that's part 2. The seeds, picking your seeds, growing your seeds. So once you have your seeds, you choose whether you want to direct seed them or grow them indoors and then transplant them. For the people growing indoors, I cannot stress enough, get a seed mat, a seedling heat mat, and a grow light. It will make all the difference in the entire world. And it's just been such a tremendous help. You can grow them without these things. Yes. If you are growing indoors and you don't have a grow light, your seedlings will get leggy. What do I mean by that? This seedling, it's not that bad, but it could grow longer, right? Growing towards a light source. So if the window's over here, the seedlings on your windowsill will just start kind of growing towards the light source, right? If you have a grow light, they'll stay a little shorter and they won't get leggy, right? They won't try to get towards the light, because if the light is near them, they'll just grow up. So, for that reason and that reason alone, it is worth your time to have a grow light. So that is part 2 for seeds. Decide what you want to grow, get your seeds, decide if you want to direct seed them or grow them indoors, and then transplant them outside. Part 3 is going to be on hardening off your seedlings and transplanting them outside. So that will be coming in a little while. So that's the conclusion of part 2. So good luck going and finding your seeds, and I will be here to answer any questions if you have them.